to start cheering long and loud for the home team.
Luke Phillips starts the game for the Cowboys after the Sharks elected to run from left to right as we see it, and Nathan Long charges back. And this guy reminds me a little of Jeffrey Robinson, who used to play for Canterbury. He just goes flat out at them and throws his body at the defensive line, trying to hurdle through it. And McKenna, who's been coming off the bench most of the season, 6 times he's come off the bench, only 4 starting performances, yet he's picked up 5 tries, so he has been a strike weapon for Cronulla. TREISTER dummy half, gets it out to NIKAU, and he's met by Roberts. Very quickly up was Ian Roberts. Peter Jones joins in with Kyle Warren to put him on his back. It goes to Healey for the kick. Puts it downfield in the direction of Warwick. Fairly calm conditions as they power all over the top of Warwick. Good chase from Long. And because he is injured, we have the pleasure of being joined on the sideline by Steve Walters, the Cowboys hooker. Steve, the conditions are pretty good out here tonight.
Yeah, Warren, thanks very much. Reasonably happy to be here. I wish I was playing, but as you mentioned, there's good start for the Cowboys there. The conditions, I don't think they could be much better to play footy tonight. It's a little bit cooler than what we would have liked. We were hoping to be a warm night for the Cronulla guys, and there's not much wind around. And the North Queensland people have turned up again in force to support their team, so hopefully it'll be a good night for the Northerners.
They're in good position at the moment, 40 metres out, the Cowboys, as Andrew Dunemann gets it to Ian, his brother, and he kicks for touch, and it goes out on the full. It's sliding off the inside of the boot, a little wide.
And sliding off the boot, but it was also responsible by the defence that was charging up by the Sharks. They really did put him under some pressure on that occasion. I guess that they're going to be quite happy, or the fullback in particular. David PEACHEY is going to be very happy that he wouldn't have been facing a bomb right under the throat of the goalpost so early in the match. His team now have the opportunity as Ian Roberts leads the field. Obviously a little bit of a split with a dash of blood leaving the head. I'm sure that it won't take long for him to get back on the park.
Luke Scott comes onto the field for North Queensland. Doesn't seem to be much more than a nick just over the left eye of Roberts. So the scrum win goes to Cronulla, and Green gets it off NIKAU, and as he fell to ground, copped a bump. ETTINGSHAUSEN. Paul Green, not the tallest of players, and if he's going to pull up and start to fall away from the tackler, he's going to cop one in the head. Peter Jones, strong in defence. Healey going wide to Richardson. The Cowboys are swarming in defence. They're going to try and win it with defence again. That time it was Scott Mahon. This is what they did to the Broncos last week. Up and in their face. 5th tackle. Green pilots the kick down towards the corner. Picked up there by Phillips. Well tackled.
Yeah, Warren, just to let you know, Ian has just got a small cut above his eyebrow. He's actually on the sideline now, about to go back on.
Cowboys certainly don't want to get Roberts out of the game early. Luke Scott found himself in the game much earlier than expected. Ian Dunemann out to Peter Jones. He's getting better and better each week. Jones strong in attack and defence. Owen Cunningham now. He's deceptively quick. He's lost the ball in the tackle. And no signal from the touch judge, so that will be a scrum.
A disappointment. Pretty clear on his face there. Gee, you're right. The speed that the Cowboys have started off with. The replay. Now, do we see a hand come in there to rip it out? Well, I don't think it went in there with the express mission to tear the ball out. But the nerves coming in clean into the game.
The guy who found himself playing in the front row for Queensland, Cunningham, really is very quick. Now here's a chance for Richardson, making the bust from the scrum win. That will give the Sharks plenty of heart if they can start cracking the Cowboys out wide in a fairly simple fashion. They're only 30 metres out, Cronulla. TREISTER. Healey, first receiver on the left. They go wide to McKenna, playing in the second row, but getting out wide in the centres. On this occasion, penalty against North Queensland.
The crowd not really agreeing with it too much, but it really looked like Tim Mander gave them an option out wide. He jogged across in behind the line, like he was pointing his finger across at a couple of them. Just waited to see what the advantage was. Should they break the tackle and be able to score or post the 2 points, which is a real chance coming up. Matty Rogers has been a very successful kicker, a guy that never looks like nerves affect him during the season. Does fairly well with the boot, just under 70%. for a guy so young too, and has had so many big jobs so far this year. It looks like he's handled them all very easily.
I think Cronulla will be encouraged. They're breaking down the right side with Richardson from the scrum, then half breaking away down the left side with McKenna out wide. So they may be going to test out the Cowboys centres. You have to remember that Cronulla, while they are the best defensive team in the competition, they're only running 6th in attack. They haven't really scored the number of tries that you would expect of a team running 3rd.
Yeah, they've got some extraordinary stats. You mentioned that, Warren. You're sort of right on the mark there. They've only averaged 14 points a game against them all season, which is remarkable. I mean, any coach would certainly take that on board.
Matt Rogers from 20 metres out. It is waved away. He hit it sweetly, but not straight. No points on the board after 5 minutes of play.
Certainly sounded like the crowd were fairly happy to accept that missed shot at goal. They must be a big bonus for the home side here, Box.
Yeah, it's become very popular up here. Matty Rogers up to mission that kick, he's just saying.
Well, they've got the crowd against them. They haven't, as you said, there's no humidity today to worry them.
No, we would have, as I said at the start, Warren, we would have liked to be a little bit warmer to make it a bit more uncomfortable for the Cronulla guys, but it's a beautiful night for football tonight.
Nathan Long charges back straight at them. Danny Lee hits it up to the left, and Jason Deep popped one in the face accidentally. He was looking towards the referee, thinking there may have been a penalty in it. Martin Lang now crashes up to the 40. Green, Healy, NIKAU running fast. Well tackled because he was flying. He and DUNEMANN went round his ankles. McKenna putting it up in the forwards this time. TREISTER to Green on the last tackle. He's running, trying to get out of trouble. He's been caught. Back it goes to Ettingshausen. They're losing the ground here, and the Cowboys get the bonus ball. So the mistake made on the last by Cronulla. Got the pass back to Paul Green, but I don't know whether he had time to kick it and didn't, trying to improve his position. CRESSBROOK. That's North Queensland inside of Cronulla's half when they should be back on their own goal line, trying to clear away from trouble. LOMAX for the pass on the inside run. Deep looking inside, ran into Ettingshausen. He got rid of him, but not Green. Also Lang in the tackle. DUNEMANN wide to Peter Jones. Back inside, good pass. Backing up was Warren. Against Cronulla inside the 10. In fact, it may have been in the play the ball area. The referee's unhappy. A chance for North Queensland to draw first blood after Matt Rogers missed the penalty shot. A good set of 6 put in by the Cowboys, taking full advantage of the mistake by Cronulla on the last.
Good to see the second row is on such an open running game. I mentioned just a few moments ago, Peter Jones was the guy that was charging down the right-hand side of the North Queensland attack, and it's something that the coach has brought in, Tim Sheens, and done it very well. Of course, we saw early in the season Tyran Smith using his running game to that side of the ruck extremely well.
Here's Luke Phillips. Off the upright, back into the field of play, and Cronulla have the ball. Both kickers have missed with 1 shot each. You'd have to say both would have backed their chances of landing them. They weren't that difficult. 15 metres in from touch, similar positions at either end of the field.
I have to have a word with that groundsman on Monday, Warren. I think he's put those goalposts up crooked there. Luke should have got that one.
Well, it only needed a centimetre or two of lean on the post, didn't it? Here's Long. He runs it deep. He's got him with a bit of help from Cunningham and LOMAX. Healy under pressure from Andrew DUNEMANN, but he got his kick downfield this time. Taken by CRESSBROOK, and the cheer goes up from the crowd. Now the boo goes up against NIKAU and Ettinghausen. They did lift him, but they put him down carefully enough. Roberts. Up to halfway. Long around his ankles. Deep, hesitates, then goes to Kyle Warren on the right. Back inside is Jones. Good work between the forwards. DUNEMANN goes to the line and LOMAX hits the line. Inside is the pass. And Scott Maner's going to streak into the tie. Beautiful football by John LOMAX. Perfect positional play from Scott Mander. Didn't he show some pace? That was a great couple of tackles put together by the Cowboys. They worked it to the right with the inside pass, and then didn't John LOMAX hit it like a torpedo?
They sure did. They set up their running game perfectly. Didn't seem to be any real surprise where they're having a go. Round about the smaller players on the edge of the ruck, but it was LOMAX's charge straight at Paul Green that opened up the opportunity. Support play. When you've got fellas coming onto the ball like that, you can feel fairly confident as to how you're going to go in the game's result.
Lovely pass from Andrew DUNEMANN, but it was really just laid up there. It was all or nothing for Johnny LOMAX. He was going to break down the brick wall.
So you see the target they've run out at the moment. There it is, just on the inside of Paul Green. Probably be a little bit disappointed, and so would Coach John Lang, just the jersey grabbing. I guess it's a little bit easier said than done on tackling charging front rowers.
Phillips right in front. Straight between the posts. The crowd are roaring. It's North Queensland 6, Cronulla 0 after 12 minutes. Well, Paul Green, in a way, you've got a feel for him. He's got John LOMAX coming full pelt. He can't really, I mean, Steve Wallace, how do you do it? Do you drive in and take the man expecting that he's going to get the ball, or do you wait for him to get the ball before you hit him?
It's difficult to say on that one, Warren. I know that try will make Coach Tim Sheens very happy, because they spent a lot of time this week trying to get Johnny in that position to run it, as well he said, at the smaller guys on the edge of the ruck, and it couldn't have worked any better than what it did with Scotty Mahon backing up well to score right under 6.
Here's Cronulla under early pressure. NIKAU up the blind side. No way through for Richardson. Mahon and Warren there in defence. Now it's Danny Lee's turn. He runs at Scott Mahon, who's full of enthusiasm. He's pumped up after that try. McKENNA. This Cowboys defence is rugged and tough. Just on the Cronulla side of halfway on the last tackle. Healy's kick rebounds off a Cowboy hand. Cowboys ball. Ettinghausen ready to chase through. Jason Deep did well to dive on it. Now SHIPWAY. Loses it. NIKAU has it. Richardson. A costly mistake by SHIPWAY early in that tackle count. Lang. Tackle by Jones, 30 metres out.
Look at it. Andrew, come on, mate.
Green dummies to Lee. Deep didn't take the dummy. Here comes Long. Goes at it like a battering ram. 15 out now. NIKAU. Taken low by Cunningham. Knocked him sideways. There are only 10 out here, the Sharks, as they try to hit back immediately. Green inside to Ettinghausen. Ettinghausen goes straight through them. Andrew Ettinghausen opened them up. He's a Shark and they were the sardines. He has got through a hole. He really should have been knocked over, Ettinghausen, but that lovely body swerve, a little bit of a fin that he's pushed away from them.
Yeah, it sure was. And there's a little bit of disappointment on a couple of faces. Johnny LOMAX has just moved. He was looking at Jason Deep, obviously feeling that there should have been an easier tackle made. ET on the way back through on the inside. Easier said than done, grabbing him when he's at full speed. Really, you've got to get a little bit of a pat on the back to Paul Green, who didn't have many options at that stage. The defence came up quickly on the outside. Just bought a little bit of time, made the defence come up out of alignment just a fraction. Dropped him off on the inside, and when you're asking a guy to finish a running movement like that, you can't buy experience or class. This bloke's got the lot.
Haven't they paid a price for dropping the ball on the second tackle? In fact, it was the first tackle. Mark SHIPWAY losing it. Now Rogers, like Phillips, his second shot is right in front of the sticks. He makes no mistake. The score's a level, 6-all.
Well, hasn't it been such an even game at the moment? We saw both sides take a fairly easy shot at goal. They missed the both of them. They both dropped the ball on the first pass, which led to tries. There, Green just jogging across the inside, shooting across the face of Johnny LOMAX, just a little bit too much to turn on the inside. Jason Deep found it a little bit too hard and quick to get across. But they've almost played identical football at the moment.
Interesting point, Wally, with the last two Cowboys matches have been drawn, so I don't know how many teams have drawn 3 times in a row.
So you're looking forward to it?
Well, I'm looking forward to a win.
Good 10, good 10. 4.
Deep dummy half, gives it to Roberts. Cronulla defence has him wrapped up, and then Danny Lee decides to put him on the ground. He was standing, but not for long. Jones.
Up high 3.
Almost out of the tackle. Healy finished him off. Up the blind side comes Cunningham. On Cunningham, they feel that he didn't put his best effort in on the tackle of Ettinghausen. He just basically looked at him. Ettinghausen swerved away from him. Dunnemann's kick finds touch. 23 metres out. A better set of 6.
It was a better set of 6, and I probably go week after week in saying that I think this is what the team should be trying to do a little bit more, although it slows the play down. Some people think it takes a little bit away from the speed of it and the way that the fluency comes about. Kicking for touch really denies the team that will be receiving the ball 1 tackle. Of course, if it's normally dropped in a play the ball, it goes back to a free tackle for that team. So and a kick downfield. So they really got to look to try and get themselves. They also give themselves the opportunity, of course, of realigning their defence.
And from this position on the field, not many teams are going to go into any glorious attacking moves. Here's NIKAU, and opening it up for a momentarily before the ball's put down. Wade Forrester, who's come on, dropped the ball, and they had an overlap there.
They did, and he wasn't far offside either. There was the ball dropped right on the 30-metre zone. NIKAU looked like he was in front a little bit there to come back. Perhaps the ball came off one of the Cowboy legs. But really, here's the opportunity now. They've swapped, decided that they've had the ball for a tackle. It's time to give it back to the Cowboys now and give them a shot.
Mahon feeds it on to SHIPWAY.
Up right there, part 1.
Just 20 metres out now, just outside the 20 with Roberts. In centre field. And that's where most of the Cowboy runners are as well. Cunningham.
High 3. Come on, let's go, let's go.
Andrew Dunemann switches it. Ian Dunemann. Peter Jones coming straight. Well read in defence by Cronulla that time. Still, it's only 15 out. Deep. Ian Dunemann on the toe. And, collision in the end goal area. A little bit of trouble there as PEACHEY and BARNETT ran into each other, but the ball goes dead safely, though they will be forced to drop out.
Hey, Matt, just watch that 10, mate. The boys are telling them to try, okay?
I think they're feeling pretty comfortable at the moment, although it really did look like that there's some sort of danger there. We've got the option now, of course, of chasing this down and keeping it, but it really does look like the Cowboys are working a lot more towards set plays. Of course, the last time they took that set of 6 tackles, Roberts took it straight up the middle. The next 2 went straight up. Then they decided to switch the play across the face of the ruck.
6 points all, and we're nearly to the midpoint of the first half as Roberts brings it back. Jones has been hitting it up from the moment this game began. Deep opens a hole up inside McKenna. Well cut down. TREISTER in defence from the inside. Jones goes again. Flicks at Cunningham, can't pick it up. Knocked on.
Ball's gone forward. Thanks, mate.
Well, they're the mistakes that become so valuable in a game of football. It's really easy to sit in the grandstand or anywhere else and say that it was a simple error. When you've got the ball around about 16 or 18 metres out from the line, they certainly do become even more expensive than what they first were.
Johnny Lang making a few changes. Lang's come off. Long was off momentarily, but he's back on now. McKenna's back on the bench. And Cronulla trying to hit it out of their own 20.
Wait.
BARNETT dummy half. Decides to have a scurry himself. Beats the tackle of Warren with a nice right foot step. Nick Graham's onto Cronulla and they've made the mistake and the Cowboys go away with it. Mahon, bad pass. Ian DUNEMANN picks it up. Out in front of SHIPWAY, takes on Ettinghshausen, and he drives him towards touch and into touch.
That's great experience from ET. He simply let him get on the outside to slide defence, and then really made the opportunity of wrapping him up with the arms, throwing his own legs around to the side to try and drag him across the front and throw him into touch. There he is, wrapping him around and just trying to drag him over the sideline. Very well, and that's come in very handy, especially after the Sharks made such an expensive error just 20 or 30 seconds ago.
The Sharks still at their own end of the field. They don't want to continue this run of mistakes. You can't stay down there forever and survive. They had to drop out. They've dropped the ball once. This needs to be a good set. Graham trying to work his way through the forwards. NIKAU. Met and immediately stopped by Roberts. He is very strong, Ian Roberts. Kyle Warren helping out. TREISTER at a dummy half, but Warren hits him hard. Chest high, ball and all tackle. They've used up 5. Goes to Green. He's under pressure from deep. And out in front of CRESSBROOK.
Probably finding it as tough as Reggie did himself. Really did look like that he wasn't a real big chance of getting to the ball. Probably felt that he was in danger should the ball have bounced up over his head.
Even Tim Mander took a long time to blow his whistle. He had a look at it, he thought about it.
Probably had the sympathy vote in there somewhere. But now we're likely to see a little bit of wide play coming up from the Sharks.
Ettinghshausen with HEALEY wrapping around him and getting it back. Early in the season, the Sharks worked some beautiful scrum-based, or not scrum-based, but scrum moves out through the backs. Haven't seen them of late. They've just shown us one right now. Nick Graham.
Come on, let's go. 15
out from the posts. Ettinghshausen gets involved. Already scored 1 try. Can the Cowboys hold them out here? Green. Back on the inside to Richardson, running strongly. Well tackled. Last tackle coming up now for Cronulla. Plenty of blockers there in front of HEALEY. Up goes the bomb. Coming down behind the post. CRESSBROOK takes it beautifully.
Well, he does, Reggie CRESSBROOK. I've got him back up in that, but Johnny Lang will be furious. That ball was only 10, 12 metres out from the line when he kicked it higher than the goalpost, and still it didn't give his team enough time to get through and make the tackle or put any pressure on, try and jump for the ball.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be disappointed with the chase, Wally. I know that Reggie CRESSBROOK could be feeling a lot better after making the mistake.
Yes, I can hear your disappointment that he didn't jump 2 blocks down there.
Well, you know, he tried not to be biased.
Good enthusiasm by the Cowboys. They race back to the 20, and Scott Mahon and Adam Warwick had the Cronulla Sharks on the back foot immediately. Just into the Sharks half now. DUNEMANN to his brother Andrew, and he straightens it up nicely. CRESSBROOK now running off LOMAX. Back to SHIPWAY. Good football. And here's the support play now from Ian DUNEMANN. Out it comes to PHILLIPS. Can he keep it alive? Last tackle now, 20 metres out. Cronulla thin on the right. DUNEMANN gets it out there. Deeth back inside to Jones. He's lost the ball though. NIKAU gets it away, and Richardson has it for the Sharks. There was danger on the right for the Sharks. The defence had managed to close it down just before Jones dropped the ball, but it really let him off the hook. North Queensland 6 errors to Cronulla's 3, but they are applying plenty of pressure to the Sharks' defence. 6-all the scoreline.
Wait here, wait. John, you're not even looking, mate. You're right in front of me, 2 metres, mate.
Well, you can hear referee Tim Mander calling on that occasion, wait. LOMAX and one of his teammates decided just to get a little bit of a head start, which is terrible because just moments ago, of course, we saw the Cowboys just 10 metres out from the try line. This kick should ensure that they're around about 20 metres away from their own try line.
Ian Roberts getting some more attention on that cut above the eye. Steve, sometimes we see the Cowboys attack look fairly pedestrian, but tonight they're moving the ball around.
Yeah, we've had plenty of ball movement. I think our sets have been okay, but the disappointing thing is that you know, when we've made some mistakes just at the end of the sets to sort of spoil it a little bit. And I think if both teams have made quite a few mistakes, and whoever can complete all their sets will go a long way towards winning the match.
Here's a chance for NIKAU for Cronulla. He's only a couple of metres out. The ball's gone loose, and it's North Queensland in possession. CRESSBROOK tries to clear it away from the goal line. The Cronulla Sharks shovel him backwards. Luke Scott can't go much further. Lang and Graham move quickly to him. Andrew DUNEMANN out of dummy half, using his speed to get it to the 20. It's not flashed, but at least they are getting it away from the goal line. Inside pass to Jones this time. Andrew DUNEMANN. Green and Nick Graham throw him back. He's on the 30. LOMAX to Tyran Smith, getting a taste of the action off the bench. Andrew DUNEMANN with the kick. This is a good kick. Away from PEACHEY. He's 10 out from his own post. He can run though, David PEACHEY. He links up with BARNETT. They're slippery, these two. Matt Rogers joins in. It's swung to ground by Tyran Smith, and that brings an end to it.
It's a great chase from the Cowboys, and they're up there in numbers.
Well, they had to be, because the three Sharks were running in riddles, very nearly threatening to open them up. TREISTER finds some space. Long. Ian DUNEMANN and Smith crunching on the halfway. Green short passes to Graham. It's a little tentative though. Almost overran the pass. Coming to the last. Healey's with kick is out wide. It stays in the field of play.
You've got to be happy with that 9-iron, haven't you?
PHILLIPS brings it back.
Oh, well, I tell you what, it's very difficult on occasions. Referees are obviously under a little bit of instruction here. Not trying to be anti-North Queensland here, but if this bloke, Nathan Long, if he had a chance there to get up that many quicker, gee, it looked like he made the tackle there. He's landed over the top, and the guy was halfway getting towards his feet when he lifted him up.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you there, Wally. I think that was a pretty hard penalty on the Sharks.
North Queensland take play back to Cronulla's half. Deep takes the tap. Andrew DUNEMANN to LOMAX. He made the bust for Scott Mahon's try. Ian DUNEMANN this time to Luke Scott. He's 30 metres out in centre field. Play the balls are quick. They're getting on with the job, the Cowboys. Jones has lost it though. Not for the first time. His hands let him down. BARNETT. Peter Jones has just got to tighten up on that handling. He's doing everything else with plenty of passion and effort. Graham. Nick Graham, 22 years old, joined the Sharks in 92. Played first grade for the first time back in 92 off the interchange. FORRESTER. He's 21, joined the Sharks in 94. Fifth tackle. Healey's kick, again he goes for the right-hand touch line. Is this going to bounce dead? Yes. Luke Phillips breathes a sigh of relief because Andrew Ettinghausen and Matt Rogers are herring through to pin him.
Wait.
LOMAX called on to take it forward from the tap. Kyle Warren to play it. Sharks managed to get him on the ground and slow him down. A little slow to release that time. Scott can't break through. TREISTER low. Graham over the top. Tyran Smith. I was reading that Tim Sheens has been getting Tyran Smith to hit the line in traffic and then release the ball rather than trying to run around them. Feels that he's got the build to actually hit the line, suck a couple in and offload. PEACHEY swings it out to BARNETT, and BARNETT breaks loose. Good football between the fullback and the winger.
There's confidence there, confidence galore, isn't it? When you're running away from your own line and carrying the ball in one hand, slipping it around the corner.
Can't help it, mate.
The referee penalising Kyle Warren, just holding on that a little bit long, interfering.
I think Richie Barnett did a good job to get that penalty too. It looks like that was a bit of a tough one for the Cowboys, so that probably squares it up.
We're going to have to keep you in check through the second half, I think. But there wasn't much in it, it's true, but the whole point was that Cronulla had run the ball back so well that they caused the Cowboys problems. The Sharks have a very deep back line here, stretched way back their own side of halfway. Here it comes to McKenna. He doesn't use Richardson or Rogers. They're ready to run onto it. Lang runs into a shoulder of Lomax and he looks at him as Andrew DUNEMANN swings him to ground. Lang knew he'd been hit by someone. Green to NIKAU. NIKAU's dropped it. His arms were wrapped up by Kyle Warren as he was thinking about getting the pass back to Paul Green, who was wrapping around him. 10 short of halfway for the Cowboys. Luke Scott drops it. Not a good pass, but he didn't look at the ball. Seemed to change direction momentarily and run away from the pass.
Well, I think he was
thinking about it anyway.
Having a look at where he was going to run into a gap's probably the best way of saying it. A bit of a peep, but again, we keep mentioning how even this game is. We just saw a terrible handling error from the Sharks. The Cowboys just turning it over. Just 2 tackles later. There they are, with Queensland a little bit in front in the error rate. Probably one you don't want to be in front of.
David PEACHEY breaks into the clear. He's got Ettinghausen outside. The kick ahead. Ettinghausen goes for it. Tries to get a hand on it. Close to the dead ball. The referee is going to check it with the video ref.
ET's fairly confident. He believes he's got down. All of his teammates have gone up there to rush him. He's usually a fairly quiet sort of a character that doesn't do too much jumping around unless he believes that he's got it.
It's a question of downward pressure here. Yes.
Wow. No try. Bit unlucky for ET. That's obviously just rolled over the dead ball line before he got to it.
Yeah, well, if you're mentioning that we're going to have a bet here, Box, I'll certainly take you on that one if I can decide.
The video ref is Noel Bissett, and he hasn't taken long to make a decision. It's a try.
You mentioned the right part. Well, he didn't take too long. There was only one replay called for. Gee, you've got to give him a pat on the back there, ET. I mean, as terrific it was, when I saw the chip kick come up, I thought he may have taken his life into his own hands for a couple of seconds. But I guess when you've been around as long as him, you've got to the great heights in rugby league that ET has. Certainly know that you're able or unable to do particular skills in the game. He performed that as good as anyone you will ever see.
Well, Wally, the skill there is to kick and judge the length at full pace. Anyone can do it standing still, or well, not anyone can even do that, but at full pace to judge it to perfection and keep it in the in-goal area. Great work, Ettinghausen. Now Matt Rogers, 6 or 7 metres from the touchline. The touch of breeze across the kick. It looks pretty good. It's there. Matt Rogers converts the try.
Yeah, ET got the opportunity. Once again, David PEACHEY creating havoc out wide, making the run, lining up with another attacking superstar, but it was just that chip you mentioned, the weight that he got behind it, but also the way that he managed just to leap onto his right foot to step back inside the cover defence that was coming across, stay on his feet, to provide that opportunity for the Sharks to grab a 6-point lead. What has been one of the most even halves of football you'll see so far. Obviously, the Cowboys now want to keep that statement true by posting another 6 points.
6.5 minutes till half-time. Cronulla leading 12-6. Important 6.5 minutes it's going to be. If another try should be scored before half-time, it's really going to put a different complexion on the game. It'll either be something like 12 all, or the Sharks will have shot ahead. Deep. Ducks under the tackling, goes away. Over the halfway line now. Fine run.
And a great dummy half run.
DUNEMANN keeps it going. CRESSBROOK is coming through, but the kick's going to go too far. And Paul Green patrolling back there.
It's a great run there from Jason Death, just what the team needs. And we need a good set of 6 here for the Cowboys. Good defensively.
Kyle Warren drives in with the tackle. There's some good strong hitting going on in defence. Not many players are going far. Once they hit the defence, they're stopping dead. Despite the fact they really have the momentum. Danny Lee swarmed upon by 3 tacklers. Green juggles it for a fraction of a second, gives it on to Long. Tyran Smith there with Roberts in defence. 2 former South Sydney players. Healy's kick. And there's plenty of chase coming from Rogers and Ettinghausen. Is this going to go dead? Yes. That's a let-off for Reggie CRESSBROOK.
It sure is. Made it over there by just centimetres. Probably just out of camera shot at that stage. We had 3 of the Sharks chasing it down. They were 3 of the quickest men.
North Queensland about to begin the World Club Challenge over the next few weeks at home against Leeds, Oldham and Salford. While Cronulla travel to the UK to meet Bradford, St Helens and Warrington. So they have some tough opposition over in England. Deep. It's a pass to Lomax. Make sure he pulled in the markers first before passing. Owen Cunningham. Getting better and better with age, OJ, isn't it? DUNEMANN opens him up down the middle. CRESSBROOK's on his right. DUNEMANN's run into space. On the pass goes. Chance to stop Mahon. And Mahon scores in the corner. A blitz just before half-time from the Cowboys.
And there's some very unhappy Sharks players that believe this pass has gone forward.
It was a floater. You've got to allow for a bit of movement when it floats out that far, but TREISTER, I think it has been opened up.
TREISTER has been split.
DUNEMANN's the one who's split the defence.
Straight up the middle. In case of Shoyd, a little bit of a lazy defence. There comes the pass. It was thrown about the middle of the gap there, about 15 metres out. It's floated forward, but of course referees believe that this pass is thrown with the intent of going backwards and can float forward.
DUNEMANN straight up the centre. CRESSBROOK was trying to get position. DUNEMANN looked as if he'd run CRESSBROOK into the wrong spot, but in the end it all worked out for the best. And Scott Mahon just hurtled for the corner.
Danny TREISTER was coming back a million mile an hour to try and assist his fullback David PEACHEY in defence, and I'm sure that they clashed heads. And it was a bell ringer too. You can see the results of it. Going out to give the doctor a little bit more sewing practice at half-time. Well, we keep using this word even.
Well, I said a try in the last few minutes was going to put a different complexion on it, and Luke Phillips can add to that if he can even the scores here. It's a difficult one though. Looking pretty good from the boot, but not good enough. So 12-10 in favour of Cronulla, but a great try. Near the halfway, all started by Andrew DUNEMANN, just going straight through the area where the play the ball had been.
And with just over 2 minutes remaining too, of course, we've got the Cowboys kicking off now. Very important the Sharks don't turn over possession in this short space of time. They'll probably be able to milk out or dry up around about a minute of the time left. So they'll have around about a minute left to try and come up with the last points in the half.
McKenna brings it back. Healy forced to go into dummy half. He may have that role, but Dean TREISTER off the field. There he is again. Good running from Lang.
He's been running that good angle all night, hasn't he? Taking the angle run just in behind the ruck.
FORRESTER, good speed over the advantage line. Lang comes from the field. Graham goes on. NIKAU. Fifth tackle, just inside North Queensland's half. Healy from dummy half, had the start. He puts up the bomb. He doesn't go for distance. Phillips trying to block for CRESSBROOK, who's pulled that forward. The crowd mightn't like it, but from here I thought Tim Mander got it right.
Yeah, well, it certainly looked that way from here. The replays will give us the direct. Well, yeah, he looked like he dropped the ball, pulled it in. Gee, it's a line ball decision. The referee can have it. He's been booed by the crowd. We'll stay out of it. But now,
it's a tough one for Reggie. CRESSBROOK at forwards just seemed to be swirling away from him a little. Paul Green with it for the Sharks. 38 seconds left on the clock. Healy. I think he really wanted to go himself. Now Forrester has a go. Knocked back.
need to short out this side in defence.
Green goes for it too, gives it to Richardson, on to Rogers. Rogers for the corner. I think the corner post is down, and I think Rogers has taken it.
That was magnificent defence. He can call for the screen. I think Rogers was about half a metre in the air when he took out that post. Magnificent cover defence coming across from the Cowboys. There was about 2 or 3 of them desperate to make sure they weren't going to be further behind. There's Rogers hitting the post.
And lost the ball. Kyle Warren, the tackler.
And he's had a sensational first 40 minutes. Box, I suppose he'll get a rap and a half from the coach at half-time.
Yeah, that's a great tackle from there. As you said, Wally, from Kyle here. We're just having another look at it on the replay, and it looked from here like Matty Rogers was going to score. If anything, I think he could have gone in a little bit lower because he was up a little bit higher. It gave Kyle a chance to get him, and luckily he did.
Well, he did it very smart there, Warren, on that occasion. He knew that he was no chance of tackling him to drag him to the ground. All he tried to do was dive at him with the arms outstretched and push him across the line.
Interesting here, the Cowboys have gone into the dressing rooms. The Cronulla Sharks are waiting. Here it comes. No try confirmed by the video ref, Noel Bissett. Kyle Warren is a former fullback, so he knew exactly what he was doing in cover defence there, and I suppose that's a lock forwards job too, particularly in past decades. I don't know about these days. But 12-10 in favour of Cronulla over North Queensland.
A little bit of quality about its brag, who they beat.
So the second half begins from the boot of Matt Rogers. And we can expect both teams to really throw themselves into the early stages of this second half, because they know that it's there to be won. Why not get on top right now? Quick moving defence from Danny Lee and TREISTER on Cunningham. Now Deep scurries out of dummy half. Jason Deep, who came up to join the Cowboys 2 years ago, probably thought he shook himself loose of Steve Walters. Steve Walters comes up and joins the Cowboys this year and takes over the hooking spot once more.
Okay, last one. No starts.
Well, a pretty simple pattern there. Just take 5 tackles up the middle and just get a clearing kick, trying to trap the Sharks as deep in their own territory as possible. No mistakes.
Richard BARNETT brings it back. He can return a football this bloke. PEACHEY to Rogers. Try to work it away from the big hitters in the middle of the field.
Peter, wait, mate, wait.
Lang.
Wait for a hit, back to back.
Once again, good hit from Roberts and Deep. Deep is busy. And the North Queensland assistant coach Murray Hurst joins us. Well, Murray, it's going to be close in this second half. What did Tim say to them at the break?
Well, we really think we're right in the match. You know, there's only 2 points, obviously we are, but if we can better our completion rate in this half, and more particularly down the opposition's end in try-scoring situations, if we can maintain possession there and keep our opportunities rather than turn it over and give them opportunities, we're going to go all right.
Well, it's probably the possession, Murray, that's been the only difference in the match. Your boys turning over a couple of simple lost balls. Everything else has worked very well, especially the pressure that they're putting on the Sharks kickers.
Absolutely, you know, that's a big part of the game plan, that with the speed of our play the balls, which has been good too, and if we can maintain those 2 things plus hold a bit of football, I know that we can make an impression on this team.
And it's been very successful too, that attacking the edge of the ruck, Paul Green and the 5'8", that's where the breaks have been made.
Yeah, absolutely, you picked it, and you know, if we can keep doing that, plus as the game goes on, we'll be turning the ball back inside like we are now, so you know, we've got a few strings up the bow yet.
Okay, Murray, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks, Mike.
Murray Hurst, the assistant coach to Tim Sheens.
Come on, make a square.
Got to think that the DUNEMANN brothers combination at half and 5'8" has got something to do with sparking up this back line, which has looked more penetrative. But it's all starting with the defence. I think that's what you're really pointing to, Wally, the pressure they're exerting, the pressure of the defence, the pressure of the chase. Here's DUNEMANN getting it wide and put down by Jones. That time the pass not so good, but from memory it's the third time he has dropped it.
Mitch, bring it over, mate. That's good.
Martin Lang puts the throttle right down there.
Wait, look. Here, you're out.
And Johnny Lang, the Cronulla coach, is with us. Well, John, there's a game to be won here. It's very close. Cronulla, how do you think they're going at the moment?
Well, we haven't been going too bad. I think it's been a bit of a mixed performance, really. We've gone well in patches.
John, it really does seem like it's a situation where the forwards are battling each other well. It's fairly even out there. It really is to be decided just on the edge of the rucks.
Yeah, well, I think if we can just sort of, I think we've given a few penalties away in the first half. We had them down their end. Sort of we've let them off the hook a little bit, and also a few little one-on-one missed tackles. I think if we can pin them down their end, which I hope we can do right now, I think over the game we can probably get away with it.
John, just in the first half, a few missed tackles.
Yeah, that was. I think just some one-on-one misses, probably, and their big blokes got on our little blokes a couple of times, and maybe the little guys got on our big one. So probably good play by them.
All right, Johnny, we'll let you get back to it.
Thank you.
Johnny Lang, the Cronulla coach.
Just wait, the blood bin. Just you got to go off, mate.
And Johnny's young bloke is the fella that'll be coming off in the blood bin.
Just stay there,
Martin just jogging towards the sidelines.
Just wait.
The doctor's getting a little bit of work tonight.
Just wait, mark it square. Get up closer, Mitch.
Martin Lang is a former fullback. It's only a few years ago that he found himself in the forwards. Now he's in the front row. It was the Queensland selector Des Morris, who was coaching him as a junior, moved him from the backs to the forwards.
Okay, last one.
30 metres out here, the Cowboys. Jones dummy half on the last tackle. Ian DUNEMANN puts it up high. PEACHEY has a look at his position on the field. He takes it beautifully. What a magnificent take.
Make sure they're onside.
It was a great take, Warren, and one of the most standout points about this is when the kick went up, PEACHEY had to look all the way around him. He decided where he was going to position himself, never took the eyes off the ball at all, did extremely well. But there's a couple of points to stand out there. Terrific chasing from the Cowboys, but the other point that I'm sure that John Lang wouldn't be all that happy about is there wasn't too much pressure put on the fellow that was going to kick the ball on that fifth tackle for the bomb.
Quite amazing there to see David PEACHEY realise there was such a high bomb he could afford to take his eye off the ball, had a quick look to see whether he was going to be in the in-goal area and the field of play. Last tackle now for the Sharks. It's PEACHEY up at dummy half this time to HEALEY. They've got to get rid of it. Throws it out the back. Green. Stab kicks through. Could turn something in here for Rogers. Back it comes to PEACHEY on the rebound. Still on the last tackle. And PEACHEY hits the deck.
And that's right, it was the last tackle. It did make contact with the North Queensland on players on two occasions, but neither time did the Cowboy player make a play at the ball. Extreme pressure put away. They thought they handled that very well indeed.
Hang on. Roll away.
So now the Cowboys have to clear it away. No mistakes down this end. Steve Waters, the contest is pretty fierce at the moment.
It certainly is out there, Warren. It's, as I heard one of the coaches say, the game's in the balance. There's an opportunity there for both teams. It's actually been a very entertaining game to watch, and it was interesting to hear both coaches' comments, and I think if whichever team can hold the ball, as in most games, is going to take this one out.
Oh, the Cowboys have lost it. It was almost magical work. Instead, it came loose.
Well, the referee asking the touch judge to decide. He has mentioned, there it was, you heard it, that the Cronulla player.
Look, a beautiful pass from DUNEMANN. LOMAX goes to flick it out the back here, but Deeth just lost his footing.
He did. There's the Cronulla player just making contact with it just as he hit the ground. Terrible that happens after 5 tackles. Now you've got to hand possession back to the Cowboys with a full set of 6 to come.
Lucky break, really, for the Cowboys.
And the particular point about that, of course, Warren, is too that in the set of 6 tackles, the North Queensland only managed to make around about 22 metres, so that they were handled fairly well by the Sharks' defence.
This game's got everything. It's fierce, and it's very fast.
And 4. Come on, make the effort.
DUNEMANN, Roberts. Dumped on his back by Graham. Graham must have just had the leverage in the right place at the right time. Jones running it on the last to Mahon. Warwick's gone back inside. Cross kick from Mahon. Centre field, it comes down. Comes back from the Cowboys. Play on Jones. Puts a kick through. But Stockland was too far back. I think Jones should have passed it.
Yeah, I don't know whether the referee was... I went to take a look at the referee to see whether he had called a restart to the tackle count, but it looked pretty obvious that Rogers was up there. Who made first contact?
Looking at that, maybe Jones didn't have time to pass. Richardson was pretty close to him in defence. But he had two men on his right and just were waiting to receive the pass rather than risk the kick.
Patrick, come on, Kyle. You're going early, mate.
12-10 in favour of Cronulla. Long.
At 4. That's good.
Deep and Warren have made plenty of tackles in this game. NIKAU.
Very interesting. He doesn't seem to have made too many offloads tonight. Warren's a situation where you see the games that it almost becomes boring, seeing the amount of times he's able to hand away possession.
Well, I was about to say I don't think we've really seen NIKAU make the impact that he usually has on a game.
No, they've handled him very well. I'm sure that Tim Sheen's, the planning that he would have given his team before the game, one plan has obviously been the amount of pressure that he wants put on the kickers, Healy and Green. The other is that they can't afford to give time or space to NIKAU. He's been the man that really has been the thorn in a lot of team sides. Seeing a lot of the Cronulla players coming to the sideline at the moment, getting replaced. One of them, I suppose, no surprise, Nathan Long. That man, I think his body will sue him in about 10 years' time. He's got no respect for it. He just runs and just gets it smashed to pieces.
Scrum win goes to the Cowboys with the feed. SHIPWAY called on to work it away. Once again, no mistakes, all important here. Such a tight game. Cannot afford to make an error down this end of the field. The first half we saw errors directly lead to tries. Deep, Burrows ahead.
Let's go, penalty here.
DUNEMANN to Andrew DUNEMANN. LOMAX. Well, they didn't quite have the alley worked out that time. Fifth tackle. Just short of halfway. Ian DUNEMANN kicking behind BARNETT. It's a good kick, bouncing down towards the goal line. PEACHEY picks it up. Warwick dives at his ankles. Good chase from Mahon and Jones there as well. BARNETT catches them going the wrong way.
Look at it, John, Ian.
Cronulla find themselves with a real fight on their hands if they're going to maintain their position as third place on the ladder. They could slip back to the edge of the 5 here.
By 2. Look at it, Kyle.
The loss of those 3 props is hurting. Ray Greenhill, Les Davidson and Jason Stevens on suspension. The first 2 injured. And Stevens missing on suspension for a week. Also got Sean Ryan out of their pack. So they're starting to hurt well and truly, the Sharks. Healy, Ettinghausen, Rogers had misread the play. Something went wrong. Maybe expecting the kick. Last tackle now. Healy drives it high towards the post, but there's all the time in the world for CRESSBROOK. Took it on the full in the in goal, so that's a waste for the Sharks.
They're not onside. No, Jason, wait.
There's some good pressure put on Healy from the Cowboys chase there, which led to the kick being not as effective as what it usually is.
Yeah, well, in the end, it just went. It was a high kick, just went too deep. But in the end, except for the fact the post went far away from Reggie CRESSBROOK, didn't have too many worries. Luke Scott driven sideways by McKenna. Copybook tackle. Deep gets it away, loose on the ground. Deep has to dive on it. Plenty of Sharks coming through, particularly TREISTER and Healy. Roberts tries to steady it down. No, he gets it away instead. I thought he might just use a bit of strong arm, hit it up stuff. Jones presenting the tackle a little of Forrester. Here comes the chase of TREISTER, but Andrew DUNEMANN gets away from him. The chase on the kickers from both teams, putting the pressure right on. Now PEACHEY strides out.
That's a great chasing team from the Cowboys there. They had about 8 or 9 chasing down made it very difficult for PEACHEY to get through.
Come back, come back.
Both teams are giving it so much. I just have the feeling that the first try scorer is going to go a long way towards winning the game because they're really knuckling down to the job here. Rogers loses it.
Replay, mate.
Rogers believing that there was a little bit of assistance given to the ball being called a knock on. Ian Roberts with one hand underneath there, fairly clear, but well, like Rogers, he made the mistake himself as we went to push the ball down.
Well, he did, but Roberts had no right to have his hand in there as long as he did. I would have thought this year Super League have been really cracking down on the hand on the football. SHIPWAY's lost it.
Well, how even is this game? It's mistake for mistake. The speed of the game probably is ensuring that.
In the first half, Mark SHIPWAY lost the ball and within a set, Cronulla had scored. Here he has another go. ETTINGSHAUSEN grappling at the ball.
Okay, just wait.
Well, E.T. dragging his hands down there. Impossible to call that as ripping the ball out.
Penalty. Let me know. Let me know. Straight away.
There's the errors. North Queensland, of course, almost double in the errors, and that's probably the thing that's really keeping Cronulla just 2 points in front at this stage.
Both teams' defences straining to hold the opposition. Who's going to crack first? Well, maybe that'll be the mistake. Lost by Richardson in the tackle. Tried to get on the outside of his man, as did SHIPWAY a moment before.
Sliding across the field, just trying to get round. Pretty similar. Defensive player moved in there, knocking the ball out, but I've got to blame the ball carrier for those.
And the tackler was SHIPWAY, so he'll be relieved. 30 metres out.
That's 3 scrums in a row the Cowboys have put a blindside defensive run on.
16,095, the crowd here at Stockland Stadium. And they are cheering the Cowboys on. They trail by 2 points at the moment. Scott Mahon pulls in the pass. Wasn't out in front of him, it was just a little behind him. Cunningham scurries to the blind side. Desperate defence from the marker, HEALEY. Just got to him in time. The DUNEMANNs work together and try to open it up for Kyle Warren. Last tackle now. 15 out, Andrew DUNEMANN puts it up in the direction of Rogers. PEACHEY flies high and pulls it down. What about that? Well, how do you manage to hang on to the ball and not have your arms bumped in that position?
Oh, I'll tell you what, we've been listening just before about him telling how to give advice to some of the young kids who might be tomorrow's champions, and if he gives advice like that, rugby league is a safe game for many years to come. That was a magnificent catch. Impossible to be disappointed from the North Queensland when you see something like that come out that was just blatant skill.
The bruising defence continues, this time from the Cowboys.
Too much. Too much. 3 blokes on him. 3 blokes in. Okay, yeah, okay. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, I think the referee had a fair right. You heard the referee just saying that there was 3 blokes on him. It did take a little while to get off. I mean, the most difficult part is, of course, we saw on that occasion, Kyle Warren was the player that was penalised. But it must be difficult when you've got 2 of your own teammates laying on you. You're doing your best to make sure that you can get to your feet as quickly as possible.
Ian Roberts came up and questioned the referee about it. There's no doubt, though, that in the decision, Martin Lang is back on the field.
Hold the line.
Lee.
And 2. No penalties, no penalties.
Play swinging from one end to the other is Green. Tries to work play, but he runs into Jones, who drives him to ground. Plenty of shoulder in it. Long cuts in behind the ruck and goes straight through. Gets to CRESSBROOK. Saw the opening, stepped into it nicely, Nathan Long. 10 metres out. The Sharks stretch to the right. Green to HEALEY. Dummies to Richardson. Goes behind instead to PEACHEY. Now it's with Rogers. Cover coming across. Puts it in the air. And Reggie CRESSBROOK catches it. Tit for tat, one end to the other.
I think these 2 fullbacks are trying to outdo each other with a taste.
That's brilliant stuff.
Rogers using a pretty clever kick there, using the outside in kick to try and get it. CRESSBROOK was the guy that pulled the ball down, but I've got to give a little bit of a rap also there to Luke Phillips on that occasion. He was the guy that shepherded the kick to allow CRESSBROOK with just half a second more time.
Nathan Long in real trouble. Carried from the field. It looks as if his game is finished. That's bad luck.
No great surprise to see him hurt the way he runs. I mean, he's just a machine, that bloke.
Against Paul Green. Moving too early. Getting back his 10, but moving off the mark. The kick won't find touch. Desperately bad kicking. BARNETT might make them pay.
That's tackle one. That's tackle one.
Just to let you know, Nathan Long, guys, he's got some sort of ankle problem. At this stage, they're not sure how serious it is, but they're taking him in the dressing shed to have a bit better look at him now.
Thanks, Steve. Looks like every bone in his body could be broken. Starting with the ankle.
He won't be coming back this match. We've been told that anyway.
Now Healey gets it out to Ettinghausen. He's on his own 20. Now Rogers tucks on the pace. Ettinghausen forced to tow it back to keep it with the Sharks. PEACHEY, Green, NIKAU. Sharks still waiting for it on the left, but Green goes right. PEACHEY goes up the middle. Has Green with him. CRESSBROOK makes an attacking tackle. He came forward, cut down the time.
Again, the fullbacks trying to outshow each other.
Healey kicks it straight through Phillips, who didn't touch it. And just as well he didn't, he was trying to get out of the road of it, so as long as he didn't play at it deliberately.
That's quite a good play there on that occasion. Again, we bring up the point. There's the kick coming up. Again, under pressure. Got to give the Cowboys a rap, the amount of pressure they keep on there. Trying to get out of the way, make sure he didn't make contact. As Warren mentioned, though, if you don't play at the ball, you're not going to be slapped over the wrist and have possession, give back to the opposing teams. Ian Roberts coming off at the moment.
Just for a breather by the look of it.
Well, the speed of this game, I think, Warren. I don't believe that there's any real great injuries to too many players. It's just the way that they've got to try and grab their breath. They stay off for probably 2 minutes before they take the field again.
Top quality performance by both teams. Occasional lapses. They seem to come in spasms. Both teams will drop the ball 2 or 3 times, then they get back to the right stuff. That's what's happening now. DUNEMANN opens him up with a little dummy. Gets it away to Cunningham. Ball's gone loose. Deeth can't handle either.
Yeah, not initially, but second.
Yeah, there's the referee's call. Not initially. The ball came from DUNEMANN, who's making these just his trademark at the moment. The steps off the left foot back inside to beat the forwards. Danny Lee in particular. A nice, neat little pass. There's the tip over the top. The kick on went ahead, but it was just the second pickup, the one that was knocked forward by the Cowboys, that was picked up by the referee.
That was almost a brilliant pass by Cunningham, flopping it over the top of the shoulder.
The thing standing out in this game, though, Warren, is the confidence shown by both teams. It's a great thing. Both coaches will be extremely happy with that they know that their teammates are going to be around them all day.
Come on, fellas, no penalties. No penalties.
Tim Sheens.
Well, did I mention the coaches will be happy?
Pulling the hair out. Jeff Bell's on there for Cronulla.
Might have just got the lotto results.
Bell's probably I would think, surely a permanent replacement. Green. TREISTER. Well, maybe the gaps are starting to come. Maybe the fatigue is going to set in. Few holes opening up in the forwards. DUNEMANN has his hands full with NIKAU.
He's been marked all night.
Last tackle coming up. Green kicks crossfield. Here comes BARNETT and PEACHEY. Up goes Warwick. He can't handle. PEACHEY's got it. David PEACHEY dives over for the try. Tim Mander awards it. Great bomb right across field this time. They decided that the fullbacks were doing such a good job. Healey decided to test out Adam Warwick rather than Richie CRESSBROOK. Warwick had his hands up there, but with PEACHEY and BARNETT coming through, he just couldn't hang on.
Again, he was under pressure. Green, great pressure from the kick chasers. The ball's gone up. I think I've said in previous weeks, I'm not the biggest fan of guys jumping into the air, although both fullbacks today have proved me completely wrong. That was the occasion, though. Green's kick couldn't have been placed in a much better position. There were the chasers from Cronulla to jump up and put the pressure on. 2 or 3 teammates around the ball to give them a little bit more breathing room, a 6-point gap. The
And a kick
conversion
to come.
attempt is going to be a very vital one from Rogers, but we're just seeing how important those simple mistakes are.
Scott Mahon did his best to provide some sort of protection for Adam Warwick. But the difference is that Cronulla had 3 chases coming through, and all of the chases could go for the ball, but really you only want one of your defenders going up for it. Mahon trying to block, but he couldn't get involved in the play for the ball. Now, Matt Rogers, this is a vital kick. It's not an easy one. It's on target. It's slotted through by Matt Rogers. That's a great kick. Still plenty of time in the game, 17 minutes to go, but Cronulla leading 18-10.
Yeah, well, we just heard Coach John Lang send out a message to his players, just keep driving the ball forward, just keep driving forward.
Well, it was extremely good work on that occasion as well from Richie BARNETT, who seemed to make the jump and tap the ball back. The guy that we didn't pay too much credit to before, but he's done extremely well. Steve mentioning the message that's gone out from Coach John Lang. I'm sure that we won't see all that many vital mistakes made in their own ratio.
As Luke Scott's had the ball ripped out. Penalty to the Cowboys. DUNEMANN, will he find touch this time? Yes, he does. Cowboys made the error earlier, not finding touch with a penalty shot for the sideline. For all, the penalty count.
It's probably the one mistake DUNEMANN's made in the match, but it turned out to be quite a vital one.
Ian DUNEMANN turns it to Peter Jones. They were waiting for him. McKenna and FORRESTER. Ian DUNEMANN tries it again. Inside to LOMAX on the halfway. Deep. Dummies to Cunningham. Didn't give him the inside pass. Good variation, even though it didn't crack the defence. Andrew DUNEMANN goes across field, lays it off to SHIPWAY, PHILLIPS, DUNEMANN, CRESSBROOK, Jones, stepping, straightening now, 25 out, 1 tackle to go for the Cowboys, trying to hit back immediately. CRESSBROOK chips for himself, got a shoulder, and is taken by Jeff Bell. But only 8 metres out from his own line.
And probably starting to wonder himself whether they might have been better advised there to try the high kick. We saw just how valuable it was not more than 2 minutes ago at the other end of the paddock.
Well, exactly, Wally. When I saw the fullbacks doing brilliantly a little while ago, I thought, this is great, but rather than stop doing it, you'd think, well, their skill and their luck must run out eventually, and it did for Cronulla.
Just a quick update for you guys on Nathan Long. He's just hobbled out of the dressing room on his crutches. At this stage, they think he's got a suspected fracture of his left ankle.
Well, that's very bad luck. Let's hope the x-rays prove it wrong.
Roll away! Wait, come on, Peter!
14 and a half minutes to go. The Sharks leading by 8 points. McKenna offloads to NIKAU. Trying to spin out of tackles as the left arm swing gets it back to Jeff Bell.
No stands!
5th tackle. HEALEY under pressure from deep. Green. Good driving torpedo down at the feet of CRESSBROOK. 10 out from his own line. Plenty of chasers hurtling through as well. Mind you, Green was the kicker and he got down there with Graham. PHILLIPS gets it to SHIPWAY. They're taking a few chances. They made a few more metres. Scott mocks up the ball safely. McKenna's getting through plenty of good, strong defence at the moment. There he is again helping out as Lee came in. CRESSBROOK's off the field. Shane Vincent's on. Shane Vincent breaking into first grade last week off the bench. Only in the last few minutes he gets another chance. Isn't this a pressure time for him?
Last one!
North Queensland pretty much fighting for survival here.
There's the 5th tackle, comes up with a clearing kick. Johnny Lomax isn't in real good strife, real good shape for the Cowboys. Battling to get up from that last tackle with his ankle. He's down and it does look like he can take too much weight on it.
Richardson runs into trouble. Owen Cunningham puts him down. Lee Bell following. Jeff Bell seems to be playing in the forwards. Ettinghausen and Richardson, the centres, are still out there. McKenna slips away from Mahon, and another. Finds Healey. Healey kicks ahead. He's knocked over by Vincent after he kicked.
Here comes a penalty.
Vincent really didn't have to do that because Healey didn't have anyone close by chasing.
No, you've hit the nail on the head there, Warren. All he had to do was stand there. If he had just stood there and let Healey run into him, it would have been okay, but it certainly looked like he dropped the shoulder down.
Johnny. No, mate, he's come into you. You've kept moving forward. Okay, kept moving forward when he kicked the ball. Okay, mate?
So I'd like to have a look at that. I don't think he did too much wrong.
Let's take another look at it as Healey puts the kick ahead.
Well, I suppose it didn't look like he moved all that further forward.
No, he's used the shoulder, but I suppose he could claim he was protecting himself as much as anything.
Yeah, I thought he did that. He just stood his ground. He's obviously covered his ribs up a little bit, but that's a natural reaction if someone's about to run into you. Very harsh penalty.
Yeah,
especially to a teammate.
I don't know whether you've talked us into it, Steve, but I think I agree with you now.
You guys are stopping in North Queensland tonight, aren't you? You better agree with me.
Yeah, this will be a very vital penalty coming up as well.
It was
not only putting the Cronulla boys two points further in front, which will open that 10-point gap. It will also milk up around about 90 seconds off the clock. The Cowboys needing every moment that they can get to try and turn this game around.
At the time, I really did think it was the wrong decision by Healey to kick because he was going to have to do all the chasing himself. And there were plenty of Cowboys coming back. Rogers from a similar position, in fact just a little harder, landed conversion a while back, or a penalty. This is off the upright and out. It misses. It was a little easier, but he missed.
Drop out. Just wait. No, just wait.
Johnny Lang looks like he's talking to himself, but he's trying to get a message. Someone, he's standing alongside his trainers.
Okay, let's wait. Wait one. Wait for it.
Lang always likes to get down close to the action. He's been on the sideline most of the night.
Up play two, get away.
Yeah, just Johnny LOMAX has come off. He's got a cork on his shin. He's just got some ice on it there now, and by the look of him, it doesn't look like he'll be coming back on the field either.
Cronulla trying to put away the Cowboys.
Wait four.
Just under 10 minutes to go. They're 40 metres out. Green slipping the pass away.
Last one.
Just watch the pressure on the kick this time.
Out wide it goes once again. Here comes the three-pronged chasers. Phillips got nowhere near it, or Warwick it was.
Give the signal.
No, it was Phillips.
Give the signal. Cowboys, okay.
Oh. The touch judge demanded, Tim Mander demanded the signal from his touch judge.
I don't think Timmy Mander wanted to make the decision himself there. You heard him call for it 3 or 4 times. The touch judge indicating that the ball did come off one of the Cowboys. Of course, the point you've got to ask, was it a situation where the ball was played for? A huge high kick, the jump went up.
Well, it was Luke Phillips trying to get his hands to it, but he misjudged it. So it's a golden chance here for Cronulla. Out it comes, and Jeff Bell rips straight through them and scores the try from the scrum win. Fairly simple in the end for Cronulla. Bell just coming straight onto it, put himself through a hole.
And showing those same runs that he did earlier in the season, Warren, when he hit holes to the effect that it got him the opportunity to gain selection in the Queensland Tri-Series team. The Sharks looking a little bit more confident at the moment, and why shouldn't they after that? A good run from Green, a nice little play across. PEACHEY just loading the ball into a hole. Extremely well done from Jeff Bell, who took no other interest rather to run into a hole. Didn't even look at one of the opponents. And gee, it's terrible. Just what sort of fate and a little bit of luck can pay in a game such as that last kick. Because I think I mentioned, wait till we see the pressure on the kick. The pressure had been there all night long. He had just a little bit of extra time, Healey, on that occasion, to kick the ball well, as has Rogers.
Rogers adds 2 more points, and you would think that that is the killer blow. Cronulla 24, North Queensland 10. More than 2 converted tries needed, and only 7 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, don't Cronulla do a great job with those scrum plays? We mentioned that at the start of the match with their moves from the scrum, and the last time the Cowboys played them, they scored 2 tries off set scrums, and they've come up with another good one again tonight.
Yeah, it looked pretty simple, but it was very skillful and slick work from Green and PEACHEY inside belt.
Well, Box, you're an experienced player, been captain of the Cowboys before. What's the message that goes to the boys now when they're 14 points behind?
Well, whatever I was telling was the wrong thing because they sacked me. No, I don't know what sort of a message. Well, you played a lot more than me. You've probably got a bit better idea.
All or nothing, I guess.
Yeah, obviously with a 14-point spread with under 7 minutes to go, I don't have this much chance really.
Mind you, from, well, just I guess a slightly worse situation, a slightly better situation. The Cowboys got a draw against the Broncos recently. He goes deep, he might be able to do it yet. Play on, it comes back. Scott Mahon can't pick it up. Still on the ground, play on once again. Anyone's ball, Jones picks it up. And in all of that, Tim Mander found 1 knock on.
Never knocked it on, mate.
Well, I think that was pretty indicative of just
advantage was played, they had the ball. The scrum feed that to Cronulla.
Pretty indicative of just the luck that they had.
Ball was always going backwards.
Really looked like they were a chance of.
Ball was always going backwards.
Tim Mander mentioning the ball was always going backwards by Cronulla after they'd touched it. That's why he hadn't given the feed to the home side.
Let's go, there go.
Just about to say that it was only 2 weeks ago. Or was it last week, I should say, that North Queensland got that win, or got the draw against the Broncos when they were down by 12 points. Today they're down by 14, and that's the all-important difference. Deep did a very good job of very nearly putting them back in the picture, though. Here's Bell. He has made an impact coming off the bench in the uncustomary forward position.
Okay, last one, make it square. Go ahead, Andrew.
Good tackle, Healey.
No, not play that,
And kept in play by Phillips? No. Did he carry it over? No, it's Cowboy scrum feed. Sheen's on the sideline. Must be bitterly disappointed. They've been right in this match for so long. Phillips trying to get back once he realises they need possession.
Oh, gee, it looked like it could have touched the line there, or it could have touched a sand pile that was there from an earlier kick.
I'm just wondering who took the ball into touch then. Didn't Phillips take it into touch, or he was in touch when he knocked it? Oh, we had one of those discussions earlier in the season. Anyway, the Cowboys have the ball. Come back. Ruining the fact that twice this season they lost to Perth by 2 points. 2 wins would have been very handy right now, coming a little higher up the ladder. Here's Roberts, just over the halfway. Sure, likewise the Cowboys and Tim Seams will be disappointed when they see the replay of the penalty which went against Shane Vincent when Healey kicked ahead, because that was the turning point. The fight was still on up till then.
Okay, that's 0.
PEACHEY dragged to ground. Healey was racing through looking for the ball, but he couldn't get it off Graham. Lee. Still they tackle. Their defence has been superb, North Queensland, in this match. I suppose equally you've got to say Cronulla's has been very, very good. Green busts through the line, chased from behind, gets away from Warren, kicks ahead. Ettinghausen looking for number 3, but Warwick does well, comes from the far wing and cleans up what looked very much like another try to Cronulla. Beautiful football by the Sharks. Phillips plays it back. Vincent. They're going to go to the last, the Cowboys. Smith, once again used sparingly in the game. Jones running wide. Warwick taken by Forrester, dropped finally by Barnett. Scott out of dummy half, goes up the blind side, kicks ahead. PEACHEY should have it covered though. Luke Scott, the front rower, gives chase. PEACHEY gets away, got away from two. Comes right down to Warwick now, steps inside Roberts and picks up 40 metres. Beautiful return of the kick. Luke Scott very nearly got him only a couple of metres out from his own line, but he escaped.
Up one.
Come on, Ed, ready to go again.
Graham.
Blood all over you, mate.
Another blood bin.
Blood all over you. Just wait, just wait. Just wait, Danny.
Graham leaves the field. Lang comes back out. There's been quite a bit of claret spilt by the front rowers. In the Sharks side.
Up by three.
Cronulla just their own side of halfway, and Lang throws himself back into it once. He's been willing tonight. I don't think there's been a player on the field that hasn't given it everything. Barnett to Bell. Green. Well, the pass wasn't very far forward. Looked like a touch judge call. Have Cronulla turned the corner? They beat Perth 32-2, and they've beaten a very spirited North Queensland side here.
Hold it steady, no, wait.
24-10 with only a minute to go.
Stay together.
In fact, North Queensland more than spirited. Cronulla, there was no backs home for North Queensland as it went against the feed. And Cronulla below it.
He was knocked on.
There was absolutely no one home in defence for North Queensland because they were expecting to win the ball from the scrum. Went out wide and Healy put it down the pass way out in front of him from NIKAU.
No ball, no push, no ball. Just stay in.
Got a little overexcited at the opportunity.
Just wait, no, bring it around, bring it around.
Once again, the Cowboys all putting a formation right behind the scrum. They had no back line. They had four players immediately behind the lock, 10 metres back. Warren flicks it up for Warwick. Curves back infield to SHIPWAY. He spins out of a tackle. They really are trying everything, every trick in the book as it goes out to Roberts. Roberts is still going. Roberts is going for the corner, trying to go all the way himself. Who should finish him off but Andrew Ettinghausen? Last week we saw Ian Roberts chase Steve Renoff down the centre of the field, and he shows what pace he still does have. It's a great effort for all the hard work that he's put into this game. Ettinghausen drives him over the touchline, and that is full time.